This analyzer I've got, this 35670A, it's an older unit. I've got to keep it on because it tends to lose its configuration. So if I go back here, I've got it to where it automatically turns off after a minute. But if I go here, I've got a sine wave here from this. If I go back here and want to go to the configuration, let's go see instrument mode. It's an FFT analysis up here. For some reason, it wants to go ahead and jump into time mode, where if this is in the time domain instead of the frequency domain. So when I've turned it on and I've goofed around and just tried over and over again, I can finally get it in this mode. So if I'm going to do some testing, I tend to leave it on. If I turn it off, it tends to not save its configuration. So I don't know if that's a memory problem, but it works fine, but boy, it's got a burr up its butt. I've got another one of these that won't do this, so I know it's not necessarily a cockpit issue. It just tends to go through and has a real burr up its butt just to do a single measurement of something here. The old 35670A, it just takes a long time to get it to work right. It's like it must have some memory problems or something. Got this here set to 1 kilohertz. Sine wave. Hit start. There's 1 kilohertz. There's 2, 3. So it's a pretty good sine wave because this is an oscillator. Now if I turn this to square wave, hit start. There you've got all the, it's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Ideally, it should only have the first, third, and fifth. And these should be 0, but nothing is perfect. But what's goofy about this thing is that it wants to go to reads just in time. I have to fool around with it a bunch of times here at the measurements, display, and the settings. It'll finally work. So maybe that's just old age. It's got a bunch of different options on it, but it sure a lot of times is pesky. You got to spend 5 minutes to get it to work. Work in the sense it always wants to be in the time domain instead of the frequency domain. So that's one of the downsides of a older piece of equipment. Got another one like this, and it'll go into frequency domain instantly. This guy just seems to be, that's maybe why it's used and got it too cheap. It's got some, hey, what's this one say? It's about 21 still. Minus 6C. Let's see how much snow we got. It's 7 inches. Seven. Seven. That's where the daffodils are. 6.